Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Persona on the PSP. Today we're going to go through our first real dungeon, and I think pretty much everything up to this point should be considered kind of training wheels. By the way, that first room there, we have a velvet room, then we have a healing save spot, and then we have a locked classroom, and then above that there is a store. The difficulties, it doesn't spike, I'm not going to say, but it does get a bit of a bump here, where, let's see, we want you to, it does get a slight bump here. There's a few enemies here that, I almost dropped my PSP. There's a few enemies here that can just outright kill you. Specifically, like, the most troublesome of those is the Bukimi. They're spirit Bukimi. They are little toilet-looking dudes, and what they have is they have a move that will. This door's locked, by the way. This is a store. I recommend you buy some SP restoring items if you haven't already. But the Bukimis, they have a move where they commit suicide, and it will, if it hits you, it sets you down to 1 hit point. And if they do it again, then it just kills you. So what ends up, they like to show up in groups of 3 and 4, or they like to show up with another enemy called Dribbler. And what ends up happening, right, is you get, they set several of your party members down to 1 hit point, and then, I forget, are these guys, no, okay, they're weak to physical attacks. Okay, so now, since that happened, we need to just use rapid fire. There we go. That's not good. Then you end up in situations like this. As long as Maki gets, there we go. We should be fine now. I'm not worried about him dying. Basically, at this point in the game, expect to lose somebody every once in a while. It's not really that big a deal, because you don't have to expend any resources to revive anybody after battle. The most you've got to do is heal them up. They still get experience if they act. They don't get, you know, it seems like they get less character experience if they die, but to be fair, character experience is not as good as Persona experience, in my opinion. And even then, past a certain point, that's pointless for me, because I'm only going to be using Personas of a certain level. I'm going to go straight ahead here. We'll go in this door. Get some background on this area. But watch out for those Bukimis. What you can do to get a spell card, you have to have a character level average in your party equal to or greater than the enemies. The Bukimis are level 19. So I think I actually might have that. You're 19, 19, 19, 18. So no, I don't quite have it, but I will when he gets... But, what was I saying? You can even if you don't meet the level requirements for getting a spell card from an enemy, what you can do is ask for a spell card. They'll say, oh, you're not strong enough, and then they'll leave the battle. That's actually really important in the Snow Queen quest if you're going for the challenge run of it, and decide to take on the tower, the dungeons in that backwards, because you need to be very aware of what battles you can and can't fight, because on the one hand, you're in the end game level dungeon, but in the other hand, those, by the way, that's a save point and a locked room down on the south there. But on the one hand, you're in an end game level dungeon, but on the other, you have a boss at the end of it you have to fight. So you can't run from every single battle. These are the Bukimis. They null guns, but they're weak to sword skills and fire and expel. So we want to... We'll actually use Gentle Wave on them. Ice works fine. They're not, like, resistant to it, so I just want to do that. Gentle Wave's not bad to use against them because... Yeah, there's the move, Last Resort. I think that might actually do damage based on their remaining hit points. I'm not 100% sure, but that move has killed me a bunch. We'll just replay. And they like to show up with these dribbler guys, and while the dribbler guys are not really that scary by themselves, what oftentimes happens is, of course, the Bukimis will use... Ooh, a Guten Tag. That's pretty good. The Bukimis will actually use their Last Resort, like in the first round. You'll get set to like 1 hit point. And then those dribblers will just come up and like tap you and you'll die. It's very annoying. Alright, I am on the 2nd floor here, and we need to go this way. Now, the question is, do I want to... You know what I am? I'm going to monopolize the experience from one of these battles. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's a classroom on the other side there where we're going to get our final party member. And there's an awakening battle. And remember what I said about awakening battles. They are a guaranteed level up. So one of the... And I don't think this is necessarily required. I'm just doing it because I can. I think I'm close enough to a... that's not good. Okay, that's not too bad. That D-Light, that's blindness, and it does affect spell accuracy, I think. Got another Guten Tag, that's pretty good. If I can get another level before I go in this door here. Oh, by the way, if you step right here, there is one more step forward, there's a floor tile that will drop you to the previous floor. Basically to force you to go into that room there. This is a pretty good battle for the main character to solo, since these guys are weak to wind. Also give really good experience. That might have been enough if that other guy didn't run away. Let's get one more battle in. I would like to take advantage of this awakening battle. Well, goodness. Alright, since... no. Let's go with Gentle Wave, Makakaja, and Mabufu. I was going to have him solo this, but yeah. Yeah, Madoon is pretty nasty at this point as well. I was kind of hoping that would freeze. Yeah. Like I said, don't worry if you lose people, although that was a little dicey. Those Bukimis can be very, very, very dangerous. I actually need to heal everybody, don't I? Well, actually, let's just go in the room here. It's a scripted battle, it'll be fine. So this is the last awakening battle for the SEBEC route. My fists thirst for blood this night. That is the most... So if you remember back in the SEBEC building, they talk about how Kandori threw a high school student into the machine. And the person he threw into the machine was Reiji. If that's not obvious. And because we met all the requirements and didn't accept anybody else into our party, Reiji is now part of our group. And I haven't talked about this, but Reiji's persona, Brace. Okay, so let me start from the beginning here. Most of the personas in the game, the starting personas, there's a gimmick that I haven't talked about. If you go to the Velvet Room and you delete a persona, if the persona is rank 8, max rank, Igor rewards you with an item. Now, most of the starting persona, you just get an incense, like, you know, a stat incense. Stat incenses are not very good in this game, but whatever. And you can get some pretty good stuff this way, but you kind of got to go out of your way to, like, fuse the personas that give you really good stuff, in my opinion. Minus a few. There's like one persona that I'm going to be fusing specifically to get an item, but other than that, I don't particularly do it, because like I said, you have to go out of your way a lot of times. And from what I've seen, most of the personas that give the really good stuff have really crappy skill sets, and they have really crappy magic defense, magic attack, etc., etc. There's like downsides. It's almost like they're saying, here, have this really awesome reward for dealing with this crappy persona. In addition to that, I also don't like fusing personas specifically to return them, because leveling up a persona is a time investment. You have to cast a skill like almost 400 times to max the rank of a persona. There are exceptions to that. If you have best affinity with a persona, and which is another thing I haven't talked about. So if you go to personas, right, you can see where we have the best affinity. There's best, good, bad, and worst. If you've got best or good, you can use the persona, no restrictions. The difference between best and good is that some personas have like a hidden ability that they'll use at max rank. They'll do stuff like, if you die, they'll revive you, but then they'll get set back to rank 1. You know, stuff like that. And that's poison, that's mean, and stuff like that. Good, the super move just won't activate. Bad, you can equip the persona, but you can't use any of its stuff in combat. Worst, you can't equip the persona at all. That's actually one of the downsides to having Reiji in your party. Let's see. I forgot to actually switch my form around. So we will just do this. Oh good, he can actually hit somebody. But so Reiji is a very powerful character. I would still say that Brown is a better choice. Like, if you're min-maxing, because he has a wider range of personas he can use. He's got pretty good stats. His weapon, his melee weapon has really good range. You can put him kind of in the back, and he can still hit anything down the center. That coupled with, of course, he has a submachine gun, and submachine guns are baller. Oh, right. I hate that they turn the skip off. I always forget to turn it back on for a little while. So let's fix my lineup. But Reiji has some really unique personas that only he can equip. Let's see. So we want you actually. Let's put you here. I don't know. Do I want to do that? That kind of puts him. Yeah, we'll do this. Just put you in the corner. Go sit in the corner, Nanju. But there's a couple of really good reasons to get Reiji in your party. First of them is Briss. Briss is a really good persona, even though he starts with some pretty crappy abilities. It has both. Balzac basically is Berserk. Twin Slash is not bad. It has medium damage, so that's pretty good. But he learns like E high, which is curse damage. But he's strong to both most of the physical things and magic. Bress is a really good starting persona. Unlike the other starting personas, who when you return them, you get a like random stat stone or stat incense, which, like I said, stat incenses in this game are not really that good. So, like, the merits of doing that are questionable. Let's see, Maguru, rapid fire. Maybe I'll get lucky, and I'm trying to learn Nanjo's ultimate persona move for his starting persona, which is... what is it called? Great White? No, that doesn't sound right. Eternal White, that's what it's called. It'd be good to have for the upcoming boss. We have a boss at the end of this dungeon. He is weak to... The only element he's weak to is pretty much just electricity. The only one of the starting personas that learns electric moves in my party would be Marks. But, let's see. I kind of switched to the other persona there. Do I want to... Yeah. Okay. I'm not as worried about... Madoon from these guys, because Reiji is basically immune to anything these guys are going to do. Minus the last resort. But whatever, that's fine. Majo Sin, that's a thrown weapon, so I will never use it. Yeah, that's fine. Just move up here.